What's her name? Hold up you. Yeah, hold up 2 fingers.
Hey guys and gals, it's Papa. You know, as many of you have probably realized in your time doing investigations, doing research in the paranormal, once in a great while we run across these sites that are so active, so interactive, that you feel almost compelled to make multiple visits to these sites, do multiple investigations. We have a couple locations like that here in Southwest Michigan. One in Niles, Michigan, the Silver Brook Cemetery, and one just a little north of there in Dowagiac, Michigan. And that's one we're going to look at today. I figured there's no better way to start the new month. The last month of the year already. It's not going to be long before everything up here is white and windy and cold. We've got to get some inside investigations scheduled for this winter. It's been a slow year. But like I said, in tonight's paranormal flashback, we're going to rewatch, we're going to revisit, we're going to reanalyze our third visit to Riverside Cemetery in Dowagiac, Michigan. Of course, you know, I've got special guest investigator, I like to call him my youngest son, because he has an excitement. He has a determination. Got a little bit more flair than I do, but good at what he does nonetheless. This was an active investigation, more so than the first or second. And there was some interaction. Wow, was there some interaction. We are back at Riverside Cemetery in Dowagiac, Michigan. Who is this? I salute each and every one of you, and may God bless your soul. As with every good story, you must not forget the beginning to find the answers in the ending. Every town, every village has its own myths and legends. Some of these are steeped in fact, while others are just stories created to frighten the young. We will not forget our past. They help us to find the answers in our future. These are Paranormal Poppers, Paranormal Flashback. All right, guys, we are back at Riverside Cemetery in Dwaljack, Michigan. Look who's back with us. He's back among the living. Welcome to part 3 of Riverside Cemetery, right here in Dwaljack, Michigan. Now, right off the bat, you will notice an electrical interference with our battery-driven microphone. We are using an unshielded microphone because a shielded microphone is too expensive. Hopefully we can remedy that situation in the future and have some way to combat this static in future investigations.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. Like Drew says, this is the part 3 segment of Riverside Cemetery. The first 2 segments, first one, I talked about the history of Riverside and also the prominent families that's buried here and also some of the Civil War soldiers. The second segment we discussed was the Lee Mausoleum and the family that is buried here. The third one we're going to be talking about tonight is 2 families. One is very prominent, pretty much started the new bank. They even got a street named after them, and also a car company that they thought that this would be another version of General Ford Motor Company. So, and then another family that I did research on was a family that was bludgeoningly murdered for no reason, but kept a 10-year-old daughter alive. So stick around with that one. Also, I'm going to be talking about some of the veterans that are buried here. One is from Revolutionary War, another one from the Korean, and a few from the Vietnam War. So stay tuned, stick around with us. Should be an interesting evening. Here we're standing next to the plots of the Monroe family. We got William, Mary, his wife, and their 18-year-old daughter, Neville. Now, the story about the Monroe family was they were all murdered in their sleep with a nail-studded club. Now, Monroes were an average family. They had no enemies. They had no money in their possession. Local authorities even had private detectives came from South Bend in Chicago to assist with the investigation. Now, Monroes had another daughter, Ardith. She was 10 years old when they were murdered.
Now, as you can already hear, we're getting that frequency feedback, the buzzing, but we're also getting a rumbling in the microphone. As Mark describes the injuries of the 10-year-old causing her blindness, listen to the strong feedback we receive as he's standing right over her grave discussing this.
She was beaten unconscious, which made her blind by the blow. The tragedy was discovered the next day by Ardith's good friend. When she was beaten unconscious, which made her blind by the blow. The tragedy was discovered the next day by Ardith's good friend. When she was beaten unconscious, which made her blind by the blow. The tragedy was discovered the next day by Ardith's good friend. When she entered the home, she heard Ardith moaning as she was laying beside the bed, which lay her sister. The club was discovered against the wall And when the authorities came in, they came into a room of horror. Blood everywhere. They couldn't eat, and the heads were so mangled, they couldn't recognize any of them. They didn't know who was who, if it was William, Mary, or Nevia. There was no struggle, no signs of robbery, no signs of anything. So they thought that they were killed in their sleep. So, neighbors saw the Monroes that Saturday evening. So the murder had to have been taking place Saturday evening, September 18th, 1921, that evening. So sometime during that night, a deranged person came in and just attacked him for no reason. Now, authorities did some digging, and there was an insane asylum in Kalamazoo that night 2 people escaped. So is that sign of these people just came walking around and traveled down here and they just picked the house? We're not sure. There's also speculation that Monroe did not like Nevia's boyfriend at that time. Pretty much told him to leave her alone. So that's another motive. But as of today, this case is still open.
I want to see, because of the heinousness of their death, the cruelty of the crime that was committed against them. I want to see if their afterlife is any more restful than their death. So we'll see when we start the investigation.
Where I'm standing tonight is at the plot of the Lyle family. Now, looking at the statue behind me, it looks like they're a prominent family, which they are. The one on the statue is Frank Lyle. He's the one that started the very first bank of Dowagiac. And also another one called the First National. His family was also pretty much into a little bit of everything that started Dowagiac. One of them was a lawyer, another one started a corporation, and another one, Leon, the other one right there, he started the Dowagiac Motor Company. The Dowagiac Motor Company produced both cars and trucks, with the largest truck carrying over a ton. Unfortunately, the company folded soon after both Leon and his partner, Frank Lake, drove into one of their vehicles and went to Chicago and got into a bad accident with one of the streetcars. The accident occurred June 1909. 10 lost their lives, and also 40 others were injured. A witness described the crash as sickening to the extreme. 2 cars were welded together into a mass of debris. They also converted a local house into a hospital and a morgue. Now, the same time as Leon died, there was also a scandal going on with the bank. There was some sort of bankruptcy going on with another person in Chicago. So is there a connection between the accident and the bankruptcy? We're not sure. But the Lyle family was part of several organizations in and around Dowagiac and Cass County. One was the Knights Templar, Order of the Elks, Modern Workmen, and also the Ancient Order of the United Workmen. we're standing in the veteran section of Riverside Cemetery. I thought this would be a good area for me to talk about some of the veterans that were buried here. Some of the pretty much everyone that's buried in this cemetery seen every war that this country has fought, starting from Revolutionary all the way up to the war on terrorism. The first person I'm going to be talking to tonight is James Emmons. Now, he was a Revolutionary War soldier born in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Several years down the road was Battle of Fredericksburg during the Civil War. Private Emmons served, like I said, in the Revolutionary War once as a substitute for his brother William. Now, Private Emmons saw action during the Battle of Cowpens in 1781, and also at the Battle of Yorktown. What's interesting about Private Emmons was that he witnessed the surrender of Lord Cornwallis to General George Washington, ending the Revolutionary War. So this guy seen the end. So with the stories and stuff, what he would say right now. Another one that I wanted to mention was Melvin Wright. He was a PFC in the Army during the Korean War. PFC Wright was part of the 27th Infantry Division, and in September 18th, 1950, he was killed in action during the Battle of Pusan Perimeter. Little synopsis of that battle was there's a 140-mile defense line in the Korean Peninsula. This was the first major engagement in the Korean War. Melvin Wright had several medals. He was honored the Korean Service Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Purple Heart, Republic of Korea Presidential Unit Citation, Republic of Korea War Service Medal, United Nations Service Medal, and also Combat Infantry Badge. The rest of the soldiers I'm going to talk about served in the Vietnam War. First, I'm going to talk about Robert Wagner, Corporal in the Marine Corps. Corporal Wagner was maneuvering through a mountainous area in the Cam Lo district border. His platoon came under heavy fire with the NVA, causing several casualties, one being Corporal Wagner. He died in battle in 1966. Now, Corporal Wagner was Cass County's first soldier to be killed in the Vietnam War. Next, I'm going to talk about William Stoley. Lance Corporal Stoley was in the Marine Corps. On March 14th, 1969, Lance Corporal Stoley was on a CH-46 Sea Knight helicopter on a medevac mission taking on the wounded. They were in the Hong Ho district in the Quan Tribe province. After liftoff, his helicopter was hit by an RPG rocket from the NVA, which crashed and burned. 7 passengers, 1 crewman died. Lance Corporal Stoley was one of them. Next, we're going to talk about Michael First, PFC in the Army. On 8th of February 1971, PFC First was serving the 1st Platoon C Company 11th Infantry. He was killed in action in the Quang Tri province, sustaining wounds from small arms fire as he was carrying enemy intel when he entered in a NVA communication station. With that, he won some medals and badges. He earned the Combat Infantry Badge, Purple Heart, National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, and also the Vietnam Campaign Medal. Last but not least, we're going to talk about John Eggerly, PFC in the Marine Corps. On August 12, 1966, PFC Eggerly was bivouacking with the 5th Marines. 1 mile northwest of Tam Kee Province, their position was hit by a lightning bolt. This strike occurred by their command post. This lightning bolt was so severe that it killed 2 and injured 7. So this lightning strike was so violent that when they found PFC Egley's body, he suffered a skull fracture with third-degree burns in his chest. So that's just a few that I talked about. Again, there is numerous soldiers here buried. I love to honor every one of them, talk about their stories. I know I mentioned quite a few from the Civil War, but wanted to do some more. But yeah, so, Drew, being a veteran himself, I wasn't sure if he wanted to say a few words to the veterans. So, Drew?
To each and every one of you, regardless of what horrors you've seen, what wars you fought in, or what prices you paid, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your service, and I pray that you have found peace in death that you didn't find in the war. I salute each and every one of you, and may God bless your souls.
A lot of veterans, but
And that's good. That's good. They deserve it.
yeah, they do.
All right, guys. That's the end of the history portion of the video. Mark only felt right, and I agree, that these men deserved all the recognition they could get. I wish it was possible to mention each and every one of their names, but sadly enough, there's so many of them here, would take forever. So we're waiting for the sun to go down the rest of the way. It's down. We're waiting on nighttime to fall. Tommy from a Non-Sasquatch Production and his cameraman are on their way. They'll be joining us a little bit later for the investigation. This is going to be interesting. Stay tuned. Here we are on the far western edge of where we done the veteran dedication and commemoration earlier. I'm going to spin this camera back that way. We're going to start off with the thermal, see what we can find out here.
I just want to say one thing. Before, if anyone comes out doing investigations, please make sure you let the property authorities know, the people that owns the cemetery. Just let them know, hey, we're going to be here at a certain time. We're not here to be disturbing or disrupting anything. So if any of you investigators out there, please let the property authorities know, the people that owns the cemetery. So again, so they know what they're doing, what you guys are doing. So just to make everyone at ease. So tonight's investigation, all the property authorities have been notified, and we're good to go. That's my public announcement for tonight.
We always try to keep things on the up and up, guys. We always want to keep a good name with ourselves in case we want to return to a spot. If you're caught trespassing, there's a lot less chance they're going to ever let you come back. But when you get a hold of them ahead of time, you let them know you're planning on going out. Sometimes you don't even got to ask for permission. You just say, hey, we're planning on doing a history/paranormal investigation. And a lot of them will be like, cool. And it's like Mark said, we might even have one of the local tribal authorities show up tonight to possibly check it out. So not only do you make good contacts, but you make some friends too. Thanks a lot for saying that.
No problem.
us tonight? Anybody who'd like to talk to us? I've got this little black box in my hand. You are more than welcome. For some reason, being our third investigation, this place seems so much more eerie and active. I don't know if it's the time of year. I don't know if it's the time of night. I don't know if it's the weather conditions. We are picking up visual and audio movement all around us. We are picking up increased electromagnetic field throughout the entire place, even though there are no power lines or anything running in this area. We absolutely cannot explain the issues and the things that we are feeling and seeing and hearing around us as we're doing this investigation. It makes absolutely no sense. Listen and earth. You have anything else to say? Say what? Head? What about? What about head? Key. Can you explain, please? Who am I talking to? Play. Who likes to play? Does somebody like to play? After hearing these last few responses, I'm starting to believe that we're communicating with one of the interned veterans who very well may have played with a military band. Head, play, key are all musical terms. Does someone... Dives. Dives? Who is this? Who am I talking to? Really? I'll just touch my leg. What the hell just touched my leg? That hurt right below my knee. All right, we're going to try out the new Raptor AD spirit box and see what we can come up with it. I've never used this spirit box before. Does anybody You know, just to make this more interesting, I'm going to deactivate that for now. We're going to flip over to the SLS camera while I'm using the Raptor and see if anybody comes out to talk. Is anybody here? Anybody like to talk to us? Anyone? What the hell is that? All right, guys, we are really starting to see the activity out here. If you were watching, I was just on thermal and opened up another one of the spirit boxes. I was looking off in this direction, talking, and all of a sudden I heard crunch, crunch, crunch come from this direction, and spun around, and I would swear that there was a. Let me show you guys real quick. It's not that easy to see from where you're at, but there is a tree right here about 20 feet from me. There's a tree to the left of that about 40 feet away, and in between is a school and a parking lot and stuff. In between those two trees moving this way, I saw a shadow darker than the dark around it. And then you start getting that very deep voice on the spirit box. I have got no clue what it was. I'm seeing nothing now. I've got the big light with me. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. But I'm telling you right here and now, this place never disappoints. Never disappoints. Okay, guys, I'm back here at base station, back here in the southeast corner of the cemetery, back here by the Veterans Memorial and stuff. There is a lot of activity out here. I'm getting a lot of footprints, footsteps around me. I was just getting this stuff set up, responding to a message from Tommy and his cameraman who are off, which, by the way, You may see it in Tommy's video or in clips in this one if we get some clips together. He don't have this little thing with him tonight. No. She has to work tomorrow. So he actually brought another cameraman with him tonight. I'm sure he'll probably introduce you to him before the evening's over. But I'm going to get to the EMF detector real quick so Tommy can borrow it and check out how they work. Told you, this place don't disappoint. All right, Tommy and I have met up. We're over here in the southeast corner of the cemetery, right across the road from the Veterans Memorial. We're going to pull out the EMF detector and see if we can get any kind of a response on it. I'm going to let him take off with it just as soon as I'm done and see what he could find out here. It's his first time. This is all new to him.
Yeah, I've never been here before, so I literally know nothing about this place, hardly, so. And for my video, Drew said he got a lot of stuff through the app he was using, seeing some shadows and stuff, weird stuff like that. So once again, he's bringing out the EMF detector, and we'll see what we can find right now.
Is anybody here? Andreas Logan.
Ooh, it's spiking.
Look at that. 1904 to 1959.
It's getting into like the orange. Oh,
yeah.
Ooh. You're getting some spikes through here.
Definitely getting spikes in through here. And you know, it's really funny that I picked Mr. Logan. I actually have the name Logan and Hunter right here tattooed on my leg. Are you here with us, Andreas?
Can you make that EMF detector spike again for us? Oh, damn, it went to red.
Oh,
twice.
Good job.
Oh, my God.
Is this all family through here? The response to this question was not audible to us by our ears on site, and I was not ready for this response when I heard it in editing. Whatever responded to this question was standing right up by the camera, whispering. Is this all family through here? That's Parker. Waters. Mead.
God, it is going off like crazy. Can you see that on the camera? One Eye Willie?
What, the lights?
Yeah.
Very, very faintly.
All right, coming closer.
Well, I'm going to interrupt someone else's shot.
All
You're right.
Okay.
Get a shot, get a closer shot. I mean, it's still going on. Look at this. Right there. It's still going off like into the red.
Yeah, it's definitely lighting up fully.
I've never seen, I mean, I've seen it in like videos and stuff, but I've never seen it in person going off that much before.
Dude.
Yeah, it's especially by that headstone right there.
Andreas Logan.
That is really crazy. Stick breaking over there. Something over there. Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're actually getting something back over here. Tommy was just talking about we were getting the EMF on these different gravestones back through here. Waters, Mead, Logan, getting good spikes on it, and started hearing sticks breaking Mr. Skeptic cameraman, do you want to run over there with the bright light and see what's there?
Sure.
Go for it.
All right. I don't want to run though, because it might mess
Yeah,
up.
don't trip and fall.
Should I record or?
You can. Why not?
Hey, I don't want to waste the battery.
Give them books and give them books, and all they do is eat the pages. All right, when I was back here just a little bit ago using the thermal and stuff, Tommy and Willie, we'll call him Willie,
One-eyed Willie.
we're up by the Lee Mausoleum. Now, if you guys remember video 2, the Lee Mausoleum was the family who joined in with the hospital here in Dowagiac. They had the son that was on board the Titanic with his second wife, and that was the place we also got the eyes looking through the gate of the mausoleum. But Willie and Tommy were up there. What did you find out up there?
Yeah, so we didn't get a whole lot, but we got one thing that was really, really eerie and weird. Was I asked it to the spirit of Fred E. Lee. I was like, when did you die? And it literally said September. Now, I didn't know, going into this, I didn't know anything about this. So I said, okay, September. And literally, we pointed the light inside of the mausoleum, and lo and behold, right there, September, I think it was September 7th, I want to say, is when he died. So I was like, okay, you know, that's something right there. So even the skeptic over there, I don't know where the hell he is. He's running over there.
I think he got ate by whatever was over there snapping sticks.
He was a little weirded out by it. So that's saying something right there. So.
Wow, cool.
The spirit of Andrews,
All right, that's Tommy and Willie. What is that?
Say cold? Die of a cold?
My God, did you see that? Check this out.
Say cold? Die of a cold? Hey, cold? Die of a cold? It's spiking like crazy. Once again, the spirit of Andrews, how did you die?
Does anybody want to talk? I just got Creed. What Creed? We just had a rapid EMP pulse. Could somebody explain Creed? There we go. Right there, almost directly north. I don't know what that was, but whatever it was moving. Okay, I don't know what that was. We were just picking up right there. whatever it was moving. I was getting a very nice steady increase on the EMF meter, and whatever it was moving back and forth, because I would pick it up and then I'd start to lose it. I would move and pick it up again, then I'd lose it, and I had to keep moving it back and forth to get it. So whatever it was trying to avoid the EMF detector bands. We're going to go on, pull up the Paratech, and see what it has to say.
Started scanning.
Is anyone here? Is anyone here that would like to talk to us tonight? We're not here to do any harm. We're here to get to know you, to tell your story, to show that there's an afterlife.
Diego.
Diego. Am I talking to Diego?
Nice.
Good. I like nice. We run into enough bad stuff when we do these investigations. I like to run into nice once in a while. I go home with less marks on me that way. Where are you?
You stop.
I stopped. Nope, I am still going. It's funny, I don't often get multiple words on here. Huh.
Sorry how the wind picked up.
I know, the wind just all of a sudden
Your hell.
picked up. My hell.
Oh, that just got dark.
Yeah, it got dark really fast and the wind died.
Yeah.
Manor. Whose manor? Diego's manor?
No.
No. Scandal.
What did it say?
I said manor. I said Diego's manor. It said no.
Mm-hmm.
And then it said scandal.
Scandal. Well,
I am.
oh, I just talked about the scandal earlier with the Lyle family with the banks.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
Huh. You are what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were close to the Lyle plot.
Keep talking, please. I'm finding this very interesting.
Joe.
Joe. Interesting. Joe who?
Elias.
Joe Elias?
And
Veteran. We're right here across the street from the Veteran Memorial. Right there you go, guys.
Joe.
Joe. Didn't they refer to soldiers in Vietnam as Joes?
G.I. Joes, yeah.
G.I. Joes?
GIs.
Was Joe Elias a G.I. Joe? Was he in Vietnam?
Killing.
Killing. Which is really kind of funny because I got You'll Die twice earlier.
Tell.
Tell who? We like to tell your story. Belong. What belongs? Who belongs?
Last.
Last. Up. What is up? What is up? It says up, but it didn't even come over the voice box.
Stoop.
Stoop. Stoop, as in bend down.
Moan.
Moan.
What did it say?
Moan.
I heard some moaning when I was right in the middle of the cemetery by myself. I heard like a moaning noise.
Cop.
Well, we heard police sirens earlier.
Yeah, I hear police sirens constantly. We're right on the edge of town.
Yeah, with the moaning, I had my my box and stuff, and it read "tearing apart."
Tearing apart?
Mm-hmm. When I heard the distinct moaning noise.
Induce.
Induce? Well, at least we're not getting any gender. Tearing apart, induce,
Because I got
gender.
tearing apart, and next was she is guilty.
And it just said gender.
Happy.
Always happy. The significance of these last few communications will become very clear shortly. All right, guys, I'm going to turn on the FM scanner. It's going to rapidly shoot through all FM bands from low to high and continuously, like a scan on your radio, only 25 times faster. We're going to see if anything out here is strong enough to manipulate the FM band and how much they want to be seen. I chose this device for two reasons. One of which, if you're listening to the radio bands shooting by, to pick up multiple words that last longer than a half a second that are all in the same voice is almost irrefutable proof that you're getting a communication from the other side. The second reason being because of the background knocking noise. Most spirits will not respond unless they're very determined or they get very angry at the constant turbulence in the EM field. All right, we pulled back out the EMF box, word recognition software. Does somebody want to talk? I know someone was here earlier. They kept moving. You're not over there. You're right there. Move closer to this little box. If you move closer to this box, I can actually pick up your words. Where'd you go now? There you are. Right there by that little tree. Tell you what, guys, for this right here, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to turn on the thermal so you get a better glimpse of what I'm doing right out here, because in standard, you're not going to see me. Let's activate the thermal and see what's happening. All right, I'm going to go on and walk back over here towards this little tree right here, and we're going to see what's happening over here. I would be lying to say what you're about to hear did not scare the hell out of me. It came over the Bluetooth speaker and the voice box at the same time, just as you're about to hear it. Get out! You guys are not going to believe this. Get out.
Group 4 thermal on me. Picking up some anomalies.
Mark said he's picking up anomalies. We're going to flip a thermal over on him real quick. You're a go with the thermal. What you're about to hear was not audible to us on location and was not found until editing. This scared the hell out of me. It said ruler. Ruler. And I'm picking up something right here in front of me.
both go on?
Yep.
See anything?
I can't see from here. Be brave! It says to be brave after it said ruler.
Anomaly too.
You're getting one in the tree?
Yeah, an anomaly. It won't. I'm trying to get a picture, but
All right, we're going to move this over here closer to Mark. He is picking up an anomaly up in the tree.
I see two anomalies right behind the headstone right there. Now it's moving. Now it's moving back. I'm not sure what it is. It's moving back from whatever it is.
Here, don't be afraid. Be brave. We're not going to hurt you. We're going to run about you. All right, guys. I don't know what to say about this. He was picking it. I'll let him tell you.
Used my SLS, and I was picking up anomaly right between these two graves. And as I was moving towards the graves, whatever it is, anomaly something, it kept on pushing me back. And every time I moved to that area, it kept on pushing me back more into the cemetery. Now, I don't know what it is, but I'm not going to follow. Because I don't know if it's luring me into something or what, and I really don't want to find out.
All right, guys. I had Tommy and Will off in the old section of the cemetery. They were doing their own investigation up there. I'm going to let them tell you what they just found.
All right, so before I do this, what was the name of the headstone? Amadon. See, he remembered. All right, so yeah, we were over there in the old section of the cemetery. We went to this giant headstone. It's pretty big, and it's the Amadon family. It's got him as wife and his daughter and his son or two daughters.
It was Nathaniel was the father, and then I don't remember the wife's name, but it was Moses and Lydia after that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, we're gonna try to hit the trifecta here. So we had the Drew's EMF detector that. Thank you so much for letting us use that. We had the spirit box and then my musical box. So if I first put down the musical box, immediately after I set it and calibrated it, it started going off. like crazy. And then I started with and then after that I did use the EMF detector. It started spiking. And then I started using the spirit box, and we didn't get too much from the spirit box, but I remember asking it. I was like, hey, who from this family wants to talk to us? Or it was along the lines of that. And it said Lydia. And Lydia was the wife. So of Moses, yes. And that blew my mind. That was probably the most activity I've gotten tonight. That was really crazy. So definitely an interesting thing that happened with us tonight. So yeah.
I don't know. I would personally say the September thing.
Oh yeah.
At the Lee's mausoleum was a little bit like crazier, but personally, it's still a little bit, weird.
So yeah, this place definitely has a lot of activity so far tonight. So and I think Drew can testify for that. And I haven't heard any of Mark's testimonies, but yeah, I would say this place is definitely haunted so far. So.
But all right, guys, there you go. Episode 3, our third time here at Riverside Cemetery in Dowagiac, Michigan. I told you guys this place does not let you down. And again, third time in a row, it's proved this place is not a disappointment. But that's it. We're going to call this investigation. I think we all have enough to really show you guys what this place is about. As with the first 2 chapters of Riverside Cemetery in Dowagiac, Michigan, once again, for chapter 3, it did not let us down. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we look forward to our next investigation. Don't know where it's going to be, but I guarantee it'll be an adventure.